just remixes one after the other in films, we don't subscribe to that idea.
Unfortunately.
Faridun, you have to see him to believe it. They've come to us. Yeah, the fact that they're signing up a set of music directors for the full film, that itself is a big thing nowadays.
Very well, very well. All right, so we have this Shankar and Loy. Ehsan is missing, but he is there in the spirit. Pleasure having you guys with us on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, Shankar, I must tell you that I did an interview with Nasir Saab and Atul Kulkarni yesterday, and he said, I think a very important thing. He said that if Bandish Bandits work, then a lot of the credit will go to Shankar and Loy, because we are basically whatever we are doing, it is because on their music. And if we are accepted, then it is a lot of the credit goes to Shankar Ehsan Loy's music. How do you react to that?
I mean, they are great artists here. I mean, and the fact that both of them have mentioned this, really, it's a humbling feeling. It's really an honor to work with both of them because they are such perfectionists and they are such amazing actors. I mean, I need not say that. And if they are understanding the importance of music in this project, it means a lot to us. And it's true that music is the backbone of this project because it is Bandish Bandits at the end of the day.
All right. So, Loy, what is your response to your first debut? It's a debut on OTT for you guys with Bandish Bandits. How do you respond to it?
Uh, Fantastic, because being a Amazon original series is fantastic for us. Because the fact that we're showcasing before showcasing the premise of the film, the base storyline is based on Indian classical music. It's got all the colors of India. It's got all bit of folk, bit of everything in it, and that in itself is we're fortunate to have this kind of a script and a film series. So and it's spread out over so many episodes, so that's even better. So we're fortunate to do this. The thing is, as music composers, in a strange way, we're also like musical actors. You can wear a different hat each time. Because
Right.
each film is very different, but this has got so much more because it's about Indian music. It's fantastic.
How is it different from doing music for a film as compared to an OTT platform? Like, this is a web series.
A film is a relatively short span in terms of time to tell a story, and this is really spread out. So you can dwell on each character much more in a series like this because you have so much time. Film, it has to be condensed within 2 hours, 2 hours, or maybe two and a half hours or whatever. But in this, you got so much time to develop each character, and get into each character. So probably the resonance factor from that is more, you know, because it's deeper. You have more. The more time you spend with somebody, the more you understand a person. So I think this helps you do that.
Faridun, just the fact that you're composing for different episodes does not mean that you have you're much more chilled out that you have to just compose for 45 minutes or 1 hour and then another 45 minutes and 1 hour. It's not like that. When you start composing for a project like this, you have to look at the whole project as a whole, as a one entity, because these are characters who uh, grow, as in by the time your series ends, multiple transitions happen. This he becomes him. Something happens musically, they grow musically, they deteriorate, they fight, this that. So there are many things that you need to keep in mind. Even when you start the project, you should remember the end, what's going to happen, what is going to happen in this episode, what's going to happen in that episode, this transformation is going to take place. So that is number one. So had this been a regular thriller or a crime story or a love story or something, it's okay. I mean, you do your songs and you do your background score and you're out of it. This is about several musical characters, and each of them, besides the songs, they have musical moments where they're practicing, they are teaching, they are jamming, they are composing, they are creating. All these are musical moments in the film which we have to pre-create. You know what I mean? We have to create that musical piece and they have to enact to that. For example, if
It's
Radhe, who's the main character, he's doing a riyaz of a particular taan, say 15 times he's singing a taan, that 15 times taan has to be recorded first. I'm just giving you a small, minuscule example of one small ID. That way, we have done like hundreds of IDs for this, where this guy is singing, that guy is jamming, that guy is teaching, this guy is in the morning walking, this guy is coughing, something happens to him. Everything needs to be first created in the studio and then it has to be enacted. So it is a mammoth thing, besides the songs, of course.
like it's almost like the music is a good chunk of the music is part of the screenplay.
Yeah,
It's like
it is. It
scripted.
is. Yeah.
So
No, definitely. That was my next question. Uh,
Right.
so the interesting part in a web series like this is that, say in web series in general, that it is the writing which is the star. It is the fact that when a platform is having then access in 200 countries, so you know that a certain number of eyeballs is a must. It's not that you're dependent on the Friday numbers or the weekend numbers. You know that certain amount of numbers, so milega hi milega, and that too all across the world. So there's no boundary or foundations whatsoever. Here it is not a matter that who are the stars, because in films many a times you guys depend on the personality of the star that you're making the songs on. But here you guys are the star. In a project like Bandish Bandits, it's the music that is the star, and that is a fulcrum that is in a way taking the story forward. How is that an experience for you guys?
I think it's a twofold experience. The fact that yes, it starts with the music, but also the fact that we've got some great actors out there who who know the nuances of Indian classical music and can emote. So that even brings the realism even stronger. So that's an important factor. That's a very important factor.
See, this is like a big opportunity for any composer. Where do you get a chance that somebody comes and tells you, hey, this is a mainstream web series that's happening, but hey, you have to compose a Bandish, which a Panditji is going to sing. And you know what? He'll sing a Thumri, which again the student will reinterpret it later some other time. You have to compose Viraharas. You have to compose Rajasthani classical music. You have to compose something which is a mixture of a pop, absolute like bubblegum pop with one classical guy who's very, very talented comes and jams over there. Where do you get a chance to do this? So we were like totally excited, and it was a big, big, big challenge. But doing this it was an amazing feeling and an amazing learning experience. And these things happen. See, it happened to us in Katyar Kaljat Gusli, which is a Marathi musical. But that was only restricted to Indian classical music. Over here, it's it's a wider spectrum.
The world is oyster. Because I think it's in what is called as fusion, but I'm sure that you guys have different opinion on what fusion means, because you guys have been doing it for a really long time. Now, I told Nasir Saab yesterday that I saw one of his videos where he was reciting Ghalib. So he has done Ghalib, Gulzar Saab's Ghalib, and people think that he must be knowing Urdu and he can just belt out Urdu couplets with the drop of a hat. But he said in one of his videos that he's basically more comfortable in English. Urdu is something that he had to really, really learn. But he's such a good actor that he can make anything look so believable. So I asked him about how good are you looking like as a classical musician, and that too like a really big classical musician. What is your personal opinion when you may have seen certain portions?
Faridun, you have to see him to believe it.
Yes, those.
You have to say, I've not seen the entire thing, but I've seen his scenes. I've seen Atul Kulkarni's scenes. I've seen our Ritwik scenes. They are just unbelievable. You just can't believe that they have not sung this. They are, see, these people are all method actors. Uh, they work a lot, and especially, he and like a simple thing. Ajay Chakrabarti has sung for Nasiruddin Shah. Nasir sir went and met Ajay Chakrabarti first to figure out his body language, where he's coming from. and what is the kind of things that he would
Yeah.
do so that he could incorporate that in his acting. You know,
That's deep.
so yeah, it's deep, yeah, and you can't mess with these people. They're just amazing.
There's a certain resonance that comes with that, with what he's done. If this is the method he's used, which is fantastic because, like you said, when you try and impersonate a person, get those characteristics of a person, that gets you even more closer and deeper into what you see and hear on screen.
You guys have been around for a very long time. You've done many
And
films,
so
many
have
successful
you,
films.
Faridun.
And so you've been associated with some massive jingles which have been which are still well known, like Cadbury's and all that. But at heart, all three of you are artists. Uh, it gives you happiness. Music, in a way, gives you happiness, and you like experimenting. You like exploring new things. You as your music is as fresh as it was maybe 25 years back. When you work on a project like Bandish Bandits, which is about music, and you give that you're given that opportunity to experiment in terms of various musical genres, like it can be Indian classical as well as fusion, and like jazz is something I believe that Loy really enjoys jazz and blues. I think Loy enjoys quite a bit, and Ehsan likes blues guitaring for the matter. Uh, what is your response like? What is the entire process like? Because you're getting paid for something that you really love, experimenting.
Just look up and say thank you, God, for blessing us.
Mm,
Because I don't think there is a bigger blessing than being a musician
mm,
in anybody's lifetime, because you are doing what you love doing. I mean, uh, even during this lockdown, we are doing what we are doing. We are composing music, we are writing music, we are listening to music. So it's the biggest blessing where you are able to enjoy what you're doing. You are able to give immense enjoyment and communicate so many emotions to the listener and make money also. So, कौन सा और profession है जो ऐसा देगा? You know what I mean? So I think this is an amazing profession that we are
and you're engineer. You're an engineer. What about you, Loy?
in.
I'm grateful and thankful. We all are. We always say that many times, to be able to do what you do, and also to it brings kind of joy and happiness to a lot of people. And for me, it's all music is always the role of music as a healing, and also a bit of a corrective. I use it personally. I've used a lot of music from a corrective perspective. You can certain forms of music that help you center yourself. If you're dealing with something emotionally, certain pieces of music can help you really overcome a lot of things. And I'm sure a lot of people, have used it. I mean, even a song, at a certain point in your life, a certain song has resonated with you very, very strongly. For whatever you're going through in your life, you might have lost a loved one. And songs have that power. Music has that power, and we're lucky to be part of that.
Right, and Shankar, since the beginning of the music that you guys have been doing for movies, it has been very apparent that you guys have always laid a lot of emphasis on original music. You have done a few recreations, but they're not remixes. They are recreations, like Pretty Woman, for example, Raat Baki, for example, and
Yeah.
they have the original creators. I'm sure that they must have been happy with the creation as well. Uh, how much of a battle has it been for you guys for pursuing original music and not succumbing to the demands of remakes?
I think we've had a pretty smooth run in that sense, because most of the directors that we work with, 99.9% of the directors that we work with, they are very, very passionate about the movies that they're making, number one. Number two, they believe in original music because they've come to us. The fact that they're signing up a set of music directors for the full film, that itself is a big thing nowadays. And the fact that they're signing up with us, and they know that we don't believe in just getting a song and asking them just recreate this, or unless it's a one-off case where you bought the rights and you say that, yeah, just can we do that? That's like a one-off case. But you know that generally we believe in original music, because otherwise I don't think people will even come to us, Faridun. So the fact that they have, you know, uh, they've taken the decision of coming to Shankar Ehsan Loy means that they believe in original music, because we believe in original music, because हम लोग तीन तीन musicians बैठे हैं यार. तो तीन musicians को तुम लेके तुम बोलोगे कि तुम recreate कर दो, what a waste of time and what a waste of energy, you know. So I think
You know,
that way we've never had a problem where somebody has told us to copy a song or this or that, you know. So all the directors with whom we work, they're pretty passionate about their films.
I can understand if a script calls for a song, maybe it's it's part of the script where someone's quoting it, in terms of a memory, or even if it's a source music being played at the back for a particular reason. Okay, it's like there's a particular reason for it. I understand. It would make sense, yeah, by all means, if you have to use an old song for a very specific reason, not because uh, you cannot compose a song for that particular season, but there's a reason. The director probably said it has to be that song for that particular point. I understand that. It's the same reason somebody would use an old film quote from an old film, or a lot of sometimes a scene is shot to as a tribute to a particular film style or a filmmaker. I understand those things, but otherwise, it's like telling a director or a script guy, take a script from another whole scene and dialogue exactly verbatim and bring it into this film. There's no need for it, because you can write your own, right? You wouldn't want to do that unless you're specifically wanting it for a reason. There's no reason to do it otherwise.
So to put it in simple words, if you ask Shankar Ehsan Loy whether they subscribe to the idea of using, just remixes one after the other in films, we don't subscribe to that idea.
okay, one last question. Now, many a times there are different music composers. They function differently. They have a different way of functioning. It's very obvious that each song for you, I think it's more than a song. It is something that you want your music to be there for posterity, to have a shelf life. Now, when you're making a song, people may not be knowing the process of what exactly is the process. If you can please take us through the process in terms of the tune, the lyrics, then the music arrangements, and the recording and the mixing.
The main thing, the start of the process is a trigger, right? So let's assume that we have a set of lyrics, like a verse given to us beforehand. So that could be the first step, that we have something as a launch pad, a takeoff point. So we can start from there. If we don't, then it could be anything. It could be a drum groove, a rhythm pattern, or it's like you pick up an instrument and play something. Shankar will sing something, and then I said, oh, I'm hearing this, and I play along with him, and it kind of it evolves. There's a whole evolution process to how something unfolds in the studio. Sometimes all three of us are, like Ehsan plays guitar and I play keyboards, and the whole process starts, and then you keep adding layers to it. Sometimes it could be just piano and voice, can be just guitar and voice. Sometimes Shankar's just playing something on the keyboard, like a harmonium sound or whatever. It could be many things. It could be anything, really. It could be a rhythm pattern. There's so many ways for it to unfold.
Sometimes, Faridun, since you're also a musician, I'll tell you, what happens is sometimes we compose by letting loose, by just not thinking, by reacting before thinking. You know what I mean? Before the idea, see, there is a logical process where your creative thing comes to your brain, then you let it out, and then sometimes you can even react without even thinking. You don't know what my next line is going to be. I don't know what my next line is going to be. I don't know what I'm going to sing, what my phrasing is going to be. It will be out of tune, or you never know. But you go on flowing. And then after singing for about 40-45 minutes, everything is recorded. Then you go back and you hear that. Something that you jammed upon, something that you let out without even thinking, starts making logical sense because your subconscious has spoken. Then you take pieces of that, put that together, and that becomes a song. And I'll give you an example of a song that became like that. Bagiya bagiya badak bhaagi, तितली फिर भी हाथ न लागे, सपनों से भरे रहना तो नींद है न चैना. This was a result of this particular way in which we work. So there are various ways in which you can compose.
It's to be able to be honest with yourself and to surrender to the moment. That's the most difficult thing to do without letting your ego. Part of the process is to be naked. If you understand what that means, is to be like a child. A child doesn't know the child is naked, because it cannot see itself. And adults, we tend to see ourselves always, as an overseas thing, but a child doesn't. So a child can be absolutely naked and doesn't bother. It doesn't understand the concept of being naked. So that's the first thing, to be able to just drop anything that you have about yourself and just play. Be willing to make all the mistakes. It's like you as a writer taking a sheet, putting the pen to it and starting with no idea of what you have in mind. There's no concept maybe. It's a blank canvas. You start writing, and then from the whole abstract process, you'll find that there's actually something very concrete and very, very crystallized, but you just need to kind of be able to see it. That's a process. That's a process. Yes, sometimes you have a trigger, like you have a particular emotion that you're trying to probe and capture, bring that feeling, bring that whole emotion to the front. But that's a process. You have to start from nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's an intense topic. We can talk aram se on this, Farid.
That isn't it.
Yeah.
So I think there is a lot much more to it. All right. So thank you very much, Shankar.
Thank you, Farid.
And
Thank you so much.
all the best wishes for Bandish Bandits. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Take care. Bye-bye.